The problem with that is that a lot of freelancers who sign, as you understand from a freelance agreement, you're signing away ownership and control over the work that you're doing. You're actually giving your Disneys, your Paramounts, your Discoveries blanket control over the work that you're producing in a way that's going to be used to train AI models, which again could lead to a potential loss of future work. The problem is in these situations, because you're looking at, and most freelancers are, they're looking at the short-term page rate as the major point of what they're looking for. And the publishers or the clients usually have a lot more leverage. It is very difficult in that situation for a freelancer to kind of say, well, you can't use my artwork or you can't use my work to train your AI models or to license your stuff to other other GPTs and things like that. The solution there, and it's not really a perfect solution, is if you're a freelancer, to build up more of your brand equity, brand identity, so that if a publisher is hiring you, one of the reasons they're hiring you is you're going to help actually boost sales. You're going to actually increase the bottom line in addition to providing professional artwork and services. If you can do that and the AI can't really do that piece, then there's going to be more of a chance for you to continue to be marketable, even if you are not being hired solely for your artwork. In the creator-owned space, what I've seen in 2024, and this is not necessarily specific to 2024, but it is a continuing trend, that a lot of publishers are failing to honor their contracts, meaning they are signing up creators to create books that they will not publish. They are publishing books and then they are not paying royalties. And the additional kind of rub to this trend is, even if creators take that publisher to court, the creators may not necessarily win, not because the publisher was right, but because, as we discussed before, if you're talking about civil litigation and motion practice, you can win in court even if you were wrong in reality. So creators who are getting into these creator-owned deals are running the risk of losing their IP or losing access to the revenue for their IP, even if they attempted to negotiate a good deal. The potential solution here is actually very specific, and it has to do with what's called a clawback provision. A clawback provision, and I'm pretty sure we discussed this in an earlier comics experience lesson, is where you give the publisher a specific time limit on when and how long they can sit on your story. So let's say you deliver a story in January 2025, and the clawback period is 18 months. That means by June 2026, the book has to come out, or the publisher runs the risk of losing the rights to the book. Clawback provisions are actually very helpful in a variety of situations, depending on how they're structured. So if you want to set up something that says, if they don't publish within a certain time, you get the rights back. If they go bankrupt, you get the rights back. If someone buys them out, you get the rights back. If the book goes out of print, you get the rights back. But be very careful when you're looking at what is defined as out of print, because in the age of digital publishing, nothing ever has to go out of print. So you need a different type of trigger to make sure that you are not falling afoul of that loophole and then still losing your rights to your work. For independent comics, the key problem that I'm seeing is format, marketing, and distribution that does not actually match either the structure of the book or it does not match the audience that you are trying to serve. So for example, if you're trying to take, it's basically the wrong book being sold to the wrong group of people in the wrong place. The analogy that I always give is, if I have a steakhouse, it's a 5-star steakhouse in New York City, but I'm only talking about it to vegans who live in Tokyo, my steakhouse is going to close because I'm talking to the wrong people in the wrong place about the wrong thing. The solution here, out of all the solutions that I'm talking about, is actually the easiest, because if you deconstruct your book the way we've talked about in the marketing lessons and actually identify who the true fan is, figure out where they congregate, and then kind of attach yourself to those groups, you're going to get much more, you're going to figure out what format your book needs to be in, because you'll actually understand what format they are looking for. You're going to deliver the book in a way and at a price that they're going to be comfortable with. And you have a secondary benefit of avoiding certain aspects of censorship, because in a lot of cases, if your books are challenged or books are put on lists to be banned, in many cases because the book is focused, the content of the book is allegedly focused on one demographic group in terms of age, when it's actually being exposed to another demographic group. So if you're very specific about your marketing and your metadata and all that stuff, you can potentially avoid those issues. But as we discussed with censorship, a lot of it is arbitrary, ad hoc, and has nothing to do with the actual contents of the book.